All right, in about 3 minutes, we're going to start this NFFC $350 entry draft. 250,000, which actually you guys are playing for second place because I've already earmarked the 250 for me. So you guys are playing for 100K. That's totally cool. We got myself, Alan Seslowsky, Mark Stopa, Brandon. Brandon, you're picking pick 5. Mark, you're picking pick 2, right?
You got it.
Oh, that mic. You're ruining my show, Mark, but it's fine. You're very good at content, so I'll put up with it. It's no big deal.
Nobody wants to hear what I have to say anyway, so It's all good.
Brandon, where are you coming from? You're in West Coast, right?
I'm Colorado, out around Denver area, up in the mountains.
Oh, beautiful. And Stopa, you're down here in dirty Florida with me. So I'm picking pick 2. If you we have it in our names, you can see where we're picking because NFFC players, they don't like to have their picks on display, which I guess I understand. But you look, when you go into a beat Allen, listen, so, these guys they live and die with this stuff. So anyway, overall feelings, draft strategy. We'll start with Brandon. Go ahead. Not your, just like, what do you think? Like 3 receivers in a flex, PPR, 3rd round reversal. What do you think? Overall thoughts on the draft?
I think it's going to be it's a fun draft because there's uncertainty all over the place. Yes. With key names like CeeDee Lamb, Chase, what's going on with Minnesota with JJ up there in Mini. You got to be a believer in Sam Darnold if you want to get him. There's a lot of stuff going on in this first round. Outside of the first round, there's a lot of value guys out there that could be had, and I'm excited to see if I can get some of them. So let's see if I can wrangle some of them in.
Stopa, where's the first round tier break? What pick number?
It's always at the end. We've all been saying that all off season. But I like this format, and what I'm interested to see is, from a roster building perspective, do you go elite quarterback, elite tight end? Do you emphasize receiver? Everybody's going to have a hole somewhere. So what position are you choosing to wait on? And how do you choose to build your team? Do you want to go on the flex heavy spots? Do you want to do the QB tight end early? That's where these leagues are going to be won or lost. In my view.
All right. Yeah. I mean, it's very interesting that a lot of the first round picks all have like these, there's no, I mean, CMC was like the consensus 1-1 for a while, but then, with all like the calf injury and all the injuries, and Brandon outlined pretty well about the Justin Jefferson with the, like, you have to like believe in Sam Darnold. It's like, you have to tell yourself a story with all of these players, guys, right? Like Brandon, like even like Tyreek Hill, it's like, he's 30, right? Like at some point,
30.
like they're not.
I know he's 30, but he can lose like 3 steps and he's still straight. So
that's the case.
I think he might be. I think he's an outlier unicorn guy that's like his own tier. So I think he's an interesting guy. So I'm still buying.
Yeah, no. And look, the ADP says that, right, Stopa? So it's. But you could see, like, if there's like 7 players or like 5 players, if they all went at the 1-1, like you wouldn't even blink an eye, right, Mark?
I totally agree, and I think y'all are going to see that with who I pick here.
Ooh, you're going. Oh, Brandon, you like spicy stuff, right? You're a spice type of guy.
I am a spicy type of guy.
Oh wait. Oh, so we've started. Okay, here we go.
We've started.
So McCaffrey goes.
You're picking.
Yep. All right. So I have to. All right, guys. I think this is the draft where we start with 3 running backs. Like I'm going Breece Hall here at pick 3. So pick 1, McCaffrey. Stopa, you took Bijan pick 2, and I take Breece at pick 3. Usually it's like a wide receiver heavy draft. F that, right? Like F that.
In my view, if you're playing to win the big money, and I don't think you have your mark to 250, sorry, then you want to get a running back who could score 100 points more than the next highest running back. And I think each of the 3 guys that went 1, 2, 3 there has the chance to do that. And so to me, that was just too hard to turn down. We were also talking right before we got on the air about who might be the 1.1 overall next year. And I think we each took a back who could be the 1.1 overall next year. So let's go. I like it.
So CeeDee Lamb goes at 4. Brandon, you get a gift. I mean, Tyreek Hill could be the 1-1 or 1-2. So that's an easy call.
I don't. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I'm super happy there.
I don't like to call out names, but I'm curious who Dalton. Dalton Del Don is at pick 10 here, so I'll be monitoring his draft. Chase goes at 6. He's in the same bucket as Hill guys, right? Like as Lamb, like we're the hold in.
Yes.
Are we in agreement that both of these guys, like they're playing week 1?
Yeah, I agree with that. I think that is. I think the Bengals more than, and I think they are better to deal with the contract dispute with the talent that they have on the offense. But the Cowboys have to pay CeeDee Lamb. So
why?
I think CeeDee Lamb is because Jerry Jones never pays. If you look back, I just saw a wild stat that if you look back the last 10 years. The Cowboys have literally spent the least amount of cash on players than any franchise, and they're worth the most at $10 billion. So it's
dude, hold on. Let me stop you here for a second. I watched that Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders thing on Netflix. They paid them $100 a game. It's sickening, right?
It's gross.
Look, Dalton got Garrett Wilson at 10. My buddy DK, DK. He's he's at 11. Oh, he took Drake London at 11. That's a spicy pick.
I love it, buddy. I love it. That's my guy. I love DK. Shout out, buddy.
Yeah, shout out to him. Him and Clip are picking at 11. So I don't want to call out too many names, but yeah, by the way, Amon-Ra goes at 7, Stopa. I was thinking about taking him at 3.
So much upside in a PPR format, such a safe pick too. Hard to argue. I don't know that I like him before Lamb, but I understand it because with Lamb being out, I'm not afraid of him not playing week 1, but I have a little bit of pause of is he more likely to have a soft tissue injury in September because he hasn't been in camp? I think that's a fair concern.
Yeah. I mean, London at pick 11, though, wouldn't you rather? Oh, my God. All right, here we go. We got our first draft where Kupp just went ahead of Puka. It happened, Brandon Adams.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, I get it, right?
Yep. I totally understand it. Yeah. I mean, he sounds really good. Everybody sounds pretty positive around Cooper Kupp this offseason. So
I'll push back on that. I don't get it. I don't like it. He's 31 years old. That's too early. To me, there's hard and fast rules on this stuff. When Father Time always wins, to me, that's too early, and that's a mistake. My opinion.
Okay.
I mean,
for sure, maybe.
Yeah, no, I think we all agree it's a mistake, but it's not nuts, right? It's not. It's not like taking Joe Mixon in the at 2.1, right? Joe Mixon clearly goes 4 rounds later. Cooper Kupp, that he was not coming back to that guy in the end. So, is that a fair assessment?
I agree. With
right. Again,
I sort of agree. You think it's impossible he would have made it back?
Impossible at this point. His ADP is skyrocketed.
Kupp has been skyrocketed in the last 10 days.
Yeah, skyrocket. That's hold on. Let me do my YouTube thing. Skyrocketing up draft boards. Right, Brandon knows. Also, my buddy Nicky Simone, he's at pick 6. I'm looking. Bill I'm sorry, Bill. I know you hate when we call you out. You hate this, but listen, you entered a beat Alan Seslowsky draft, so I'm calling you out. Big time player Bill Wazowski. Love his last name. Anyone with SKY at the end, that's my guy. Pick 7. Joe Nowak picks pick 4. And by the way, if you're in this draft, watch the live stream and just post in here if I can call you out. Those guys I know I can call out because, I actually, they'll probably yell at me. All right, so Puka Nacua goes at 2.6, right? Is that 6? Gibbs?
Yes, it is.
Gibbs falls behind Taylor, kind of to be expected, boys, right?
Yep.
Marvin Harrison. Do you like the ADP, Brandon?
Hate it.
Yeah, me too.
Hate the ADP. It's too rich right now. It's too rich. I think he's further down the board. There's a few names I would have over him right now, and I'm about to take one. I'm sure you guys will say it's a mistake, but I really don't care. Yeah, I like nuclear upside and this type of stuff.
Yeah, I'm not telling you Achan's a bad pick. Pacheco going before Achan. This is like an off the rails draft already, guys.
Yeah.
Do we Stopa Pacheco in the middle of round 2?
I mean, he's a 3-down back on what might be the best team in the NFL. I think that's okay.
Yeah.
You could argue that his ADP was suppressed all summer.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see where
I do think A-Chain is early. Here's the stat I like to give on A-Chain and why I fade him.
Mm-hmm.
One running back in the history of the NFL has succeeded at his body size. Work done. That's it. I don't like to bet on outliers, so I might be wrong about A-Chain, over and over again, but that's my fear there.
All right, guys.
I love unicorn guys and PP points per game monsters, and he is one of those guys. And if you don't have him and I got him, I like my chances if he's healthy.
All right, so guys, at 2.3, this is at 2.10, this is exactly why I didn't take Tyreek Hill, because I wanted Waddle here. I get him at 210. I took Breece Hall in round 1. Kyron goes the pick before. By the way, I'm still on tilt about Nicky Simone taking Pacheco at 2.5 or 2.6, whatever the hell it is. Stopey, Olave. Explain this.
Do it. I don't like to start out running back because it makes it harder to choose the best player available later on. So this is just kind of roster building for me. I thought he was the best receiver there. I would have taken Waddle if you hadn't taken him.
Right. Okay. Adams goes at the end of round 1. Okay, so here we go. Round 3, it's a third round reversal. NFFC, by the way, to me, this is the best platform to play high stakes on. Play nffc.com. Go there. RotoWire Online Championship. All right. Malik Neighbors goes at 3-2. I thought Malik Neighbors might fall. I almost took him over Waddle, but I thought that was getting a little crazy there.
That's pretty rich.
Right. Well, that's why I didn't do it. But it's so easy to see as Neighbors as being like the next guy that's in the elite wide receiver tier, right, Brandon?
Oh man, I think he is. Yeah, I like him a lot. I was a big believer pre-draft, post-draft. I don't care that is Daniel Jones throwing the ball. I think Neighbors is going to make Daniel Jones an actual competent quarterback this year. I actually like what they did on the offensive line, so protection should be much better for Daniel. Neighbors is going to get a big target share this year.
Stopa, Derrick Henry, third round. Are you a Derrick Henry guy? Usually you don't like old players. I almost took him where I was, but I didn't want to start RB. If I would have taken Tyreek Hill, I would have gone. If Gus Edwards gets 12 touchdowns last year, Derrick Henry has to get 12,000 touchdowns, right?
Henry's in the nut spot. There's no doubt about that. So, I'm not a Henry guy because I subscribe to the, Father Time always wins on pretty much every position.
Except if you're Derrick Henry, by the way.
He's certainly the outlier of outliers.
He's Frank Gore with more skills.
Yeah. You can't argue what he's such a freak body type that maybe he can defy Father Time in ways that other backs haven't. You could argue he already has. Be great to see what happens. He has a very wide range of outcomes.
Yeah. By the way, we had Derrick Henry's high school coach on the RotoWire podcast about 5 years ago. And he had said that this was like a different human being. Like he said he would give him 50 carries in a game. People would yell at the coach and they would saying child abuse, and he would pull him out of the game. And Derrick Henry basically said, if you don't put me back in the game, we're going to fight. I'm going to kick your ass. It was just different. So, Pittman goes right here in round 3, followed by Stephon Diggs. Kenneth Walker. Ooh, round 3. That feels early, doesn't it?
I love it so much.
That is early.
I know it is. I've been tracking what's going on in Seattle quite closely. It seems like he's going to get the 3 down workload this year, and I think the Seattle is going to have a major rebound, and I can get value with wide receiver later. Ken Walker is set for a 3 down workload.
And there's not enough chatter. Yeah. Not enough chatter about how both the Seattle's tackles missed most of last year. So
exactly.
Just that should give them a
Yep.
Hey guys, I took Ayuk here. I'm just assuming that he stays on San Fran. If he stays on San Fran, is this I'll ask Stopa, is this a good value right here?
I was going to take Ayuk if you didn't. So I have the similar concern to what we were saying about Lamb. about, is he going to have a soft tissue injury early on?
Right.
I think
that's a big risk. Yeah. But out of the 3 guys that haven't been practicing, one of them is going to pull up lame. One of them. It's just like, which one is it going to be? So,
wait, hold on. Just because they're not practicing, doesn't that mean like they're practicing on their own, staying in shape, Brandon?
Yeah, they're staying in shape, but there's a difference between being under strain of real contact drills and stuff like that. So, I just feel.
Wait, hold on. But they're not like in real contact. Oh, you're saying like preseason games or something.
Mm-hmm. Well, like I'm just talking about having the strain of training camp and being under load day after day after day, and having that workload increase. And if your body doesn't fail at that point, then you're pretty good for the season. But that's when you get it.
Stopa, Brandon Adam, our guy right here, with the Ken Walker pick in round 3, and my boy Nicky Simone in round 2 with Pacheco, still have me on tilt. Like, I respect it, but I'm just like, I can't even believe it.
Mm-hmm.
Stick to your beliefs, in a big format like this. I love the 3 down arguments. We've made that on a couple of these guys. So, let's go with those kind of players. Too much upside.
So Brandon, what do you think about Charbonnet? You just think he's like clear, like he's like Tyler Algier?
I think he is I pretty much do. Everything out of Mike McDonald and Ryan Grubb's mouth is that Kenneth Walker is the dude. Kenneth Walker is the guy that ran over 200 and something yards in college on Mike McDaniel when he was a defensive coordinator for Michigan. He remembers that, and he knows exactly who Ken Walker is. And I think he's about to give this kid everything he can handle and not split it at all. I really think he's going to load this kid up with a lot of workload. Yeah.
Yeah, you and I. Oh, here, I'm on the clock here. Oh, Rashee Rice going early round 4. Okay, so very good. Stopa, explain that. So obviously, no fear of the suspension, right?
It seems like there's going to be no or very minimal suspension. I love the setup in KC. He proved he was really good last year. I feel like his ADP has been artificially suppressed based on the suspension fears, and it hasn't been changed enough in order to reflect the situation that he's in.
Brandon, you agree there? That's like the new ADP of because Rice has been going like 3 rounds later.
Yeah, I was actually debating on taking him in the 4th, so I totally understand it and respect it. So
guys, I take Amari Cooper. It's like the worst, most boring pick ever, but all that guy does is produce. It's no one's going to high five you when you take Amari Cooper, and then George Pickens goes off the board. You take Tank Dell. Look, you're right. You told me you're in flag plant mode. You plunked down your 350, and you were in flag plant mode. Tank Dell, can he outproduce the other 2 Houston wide receivers?
I think Nico and him will be very close. I think Diggs is the 3rd man. I really think he'll have touchdowns, but I don't think he's going to have volume. I think he's about to have a major step back in volume, and he's been kind of a volume merchant up in Buffalo, having 150 targets every year. And honestly, I don't see him getting open as cleanly deeper down the field like he used to. I think that's why they moved on from him outside of the personality issues. But I just think Diggs is there for just in case if Tank Dell doesn't make it, they got another option. And it's a great option. And I think Tank Dell is the touchdown guy that CJ loves to hit.
Mark, Jacobs, James Cook, and Rachaad White, the next 3 running backs right there. Do you like the order they went off, and any concerns about those guys as 4th round picks?
I think they're all fair there. They all have some fleas with them. I'd say I like the order that they went in. The Cook, I'm a Bills guy, so his fleas are very obvious. He doesn't get work in the red zone. He's never gonna. His over under on rush touchdowns, I think, is 3.5. So those are his problems. White has never been viewed as a very good back. He's just not very efficient as a runner, but good as a receiver. And then Jacobs, can he sustain those workloads? Green Bay likes the timeshares. I think that's fine the way that those guys went there.
T. Higgins and Zay Flowers next off the board. I was debating Zay Flowers, Brandon. Where are you at on? I've been offered first round picks in our dynasty, our 25 first for in our dynasty leagues. I'm not selling for that, but is Zay Flowers have a chance to be a top? Like, can he be Drake London value next year, or is he just kind of in that like giant tier of Jordan Addison, George Pickens? Is that
I think
where
he'll always, I think he'll always do that in drafts because unless he proves himself to be at his size, unless he proves himself to be a unicorn like a Tyreek Hill, then yes, like he's gonna be this guy pretty much. He might have a little bit more touchdown equity this year, getting a little bit more of a workload. I like him as a wide receiver too. I just will never. I don't think he'll ever jump into. I think Drake London with his build and his ability out of the X position, I think he is a wide receiver one build that can actually handle 150 targets. I don't know if Zay can do that. We'll see.
Hey guys, outside of your own team of us three, any builds that Stopa that strike you as good, or maybe something that's a little curious right now? I mean, how about our guy DK at Team 11 taking JT in round 2, London in round 1, but I guess you could have flipped that. It's the same thing. Neighbors, then McLaurin. I mean, those are all players that I have not targeted this year, Mark.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty, and he just took a tight end there.
And by the way, Laporta in round 5, that's the sickest value I've seen on him yet.
Yep. That was a great pick by him.
Yeah.
The room waited on tight ends. I don't see any roster builds here that look off to me or anything like that. Everybody seems
except for mine. You can say mine, Mark. It's okay.
No,
mine looks mine's a little different, but I'm trying to be ahead of. I think Ken Walker has been kept quiet, and I think people are a little behind market on it.
No, I agree with you there. But I guess the only question about that, I'll let Mark talk here, is that could you have gotten Walker on the next spin? But I guess if you didn't like anyone else, who cares, right?
Exactly. Yeah, that's my build. Yeah.
I mean, if that's your guy and you think he's a 3-down guy, and you obviously agreed with my argument about the tackles coming back, there's nothing wrong with that at all. I mean, look, we get so at this time of year wedded to ADP and like, oh, this guy was taking a few spots before. You know that the leaders in the fantasy leaders at the end of the season are going to make these look like a random shuffle.
Right.
They look like that every year. It looks like a random shuffle. So, go get your guys. Don't take him around earlier than you need to if he's likely to get you in the next round. But go get your guys. And if it's a little before ADP, then who cares?
All right, let's talk. Brandon's coming up. So, Stopa, let's talk about this. Stroud QB2 in this draft. Mahomes QB3 and Hurts 4. That's a little different.
Obviously, the guy who took Stroud first among that group already had Nico Collins, so he's trying to get a little, mini stack going there, and which I can understand. I mean, I think there's an argument to be made that the Texans, playing in their division, probably the weakest of the AFC, at least arguably, and the three great weapons on the outside, that Stroud could have 5,000 yards and 40 touchdowns.
All right, Brandon, talk about your pick while I make mine.
Anthony Richardson, man. I'm swinging for the fences for upside and for nuclear upside, because this is for, you're going against thousands of rosters, and to differentiate yourself, you got to kind of swing for the fences a little bit. I think Anthony Richardson has a real chance at leading the NFL with rushing touchdowns this year. He is going to be unstoppable in the red zone, and I like JT being back. I think that's great and everything, but I think that's why I don't like JT as a pick for me, is because I do think that touchdown upside will be curtailed a little bit this year with a Rich's presence, just like a Josh Allen, a Hurts. You're going to see those running backs kind of be the owners of those running backs are going to be flustered from time to time, because they're going to see a 2 rushing touchdown game by their quarterback.
Yep.
And that's just what is going to happen with A Rich. And if I'm going against thousands of people, man, A Rich was averaging over 9.5 points per game just with the rushing. So he has an incredible floor, and his upside is ridiculous.
Look at this. Round 5 is the tight end round in our draft, guys. And Dalton, who's Dalton Del Don, he's at pick 10. He has Anthony Richardson as his QB1 in his rankings. So
I do too.
Yep. Yeah, no, I took him in round 5. Yeah, I like it. You know what? I took Andrews. You know, I get it. You took Pitts. It's Andrews and Pitts are like the same pick for different reasons, right, Stopa?
Totally agree. It's I have a little bit of correlation since I took Bajan. So, I like the high upside arguments, just like you were saying about Richardson. You want to tell yourself a story where you could be the best team among thousands of teams and roll with it.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm hoping so Stopa, you're up again here. I'm just curious what you're going to do because I have a very specific player that I want to do. Oh, we got about 500 people watching us draft here. This is the NFFC, play NFFC.com, RotoWire Online Championship. Man, this is to me, this is the best high stakes contest. PPR, 3 receivers in a flex. I play on some of the other platforms as well, but this is fun. Hey, Brandon, by the way, we play in a lot of dynasty leagues. Stopa, you play in a lot of, you know what? I am happy to say, Stopa, that you play in a lot of dynasty leagues with us. The new rule, very quick, 15 seconds, about the injury substitution.
Love it.
Oh, you do love it. Okay, good. Okay, Stopa. Let's let him pick. He's got 10 seconds.
I'll talk about it for a second.
Go.
I think it's great. I think it's great for guys.
Explain what it is first. Explain.
It's giving you options outside. If you have a player,
I had to do it. I'm not a Lamar guy.
What did he do?
Yeah, he took Lamar from me from Andrew. Go ahead. Anyway, go ahead, Brandon.
It just gives you options if your player pulls out with before the game. So it does it automatically. That's my impression. Is that correct?
Yes, you are correct. And I'm on major tilt right now.
Why is that?
Oh, I ruined your stack.
Yeah, I had what's his name? I had Andrews.
Lamar. Oh, Andrews, got you.
All right, guys. I want some constructive criticism on this pick right here. I am really into Aaron Jones this year.
Oh,
okay.
Age cliff. That's the criticism. Age cliff.
I mean, they paid him a lot of PPR points, right? Round 6.
It's not a bad pick. It's just if you're looking for criticism, that's what it is.
Right. I mean, but okay. So when you okay, you took Jake Ferguson. All right, that's the obvious next pick right there. I like that.
I mean, Ingram. It was Ingram or Jake Ferguson, but I have a massive.
No, Ferguson's the better pick.
Yeah, I love Fergie.
That's the right pick. Brandon Cooks on Dallas got hurt today too.
Yeah.
So I mean, Ferguson's he could have 80 catches.
Yes, he can.
Yep.
Yes, he can.
Even if it's for like 850 yards, it's like 9 touchdowns. Yeah, no, that's a good pick. Keenan Allen goes off the board here next. All right, hold on. Let me take a breath. I am so pissed that Stopa took Lamar.
he was. I'm not a Lamar guy, but he was so clearly the best player on the board at the time.
I know. There's no trading in this league. I'm so pissed. I wanted the Andrews Lamar stack. Hold on.
Now you're making me feel bad.
You should.
I can't even trade it to you. Well, we're just gonna have to do another one then, aren't we?
Exactly. Brandon, you're down for one more of these, right?
Yeah, I'm down for sure. We'll do another one.
You're always. Yep. By the way, how you doing in that league that I handed off to you? The $300.
I sold everything.
Yeah,
I sold everything.
I gave Stopa an offering too, and he sold everything too. You guys must hate my picks. You sold everything.
No, I just needed. I like currency better than players and rebuilds, so that's why.
So,
well, to me, it's very clear. If you take over an Alan Seslowsky dynasty team, it's a rebuild.
It's a rebuild.
wait, hold on. Wait, hang on one second. Brandon, I handed you a solid team.
Good.
I handed you a good team.
It was okay. It was okay. What it was is one of those teams that if you like the teams that you're going against, there was some obviously some
super teams.
Really,
some super teams.
Yeah, right. There were some ridiculous teams that were stacked. So
I gave you
I decided just to get rid of everything and buy. Get the picks.
Stopa just like he likes to play for last place, so it's no big deal. By the way, guys, James Conner goes the end of round 6 to Dalton. I heard him talking about that on his podcast. James Conner, I mean, he strikes me as a guy that's going to return like second round value this year. Stopa.
Dalton's got a couple Cardinals now, and obviously he's a smart guy, a longtime Yahoo writer and formerly RotoWire. But I like the Cardinals. I think that they have underrated upside. I think their defense is really bad, and they have some sneaky good skill players. And Kyler healthy with a healthy offseason, they could be a fun shootout type team on a regular basis. So I think he knows what he's doing there.
I just love. I think Trey McBride on the cards is that's the guy that you want to stack with Kyler.
Yep. Brent, you send me a Swift for Kyron Williams with some picks offer. Are you just not in on Swift this year?
I think with Caleb Williams, I think I don't know how often he's going to check it down. Like he did it with this. He did that with Marshawn Lloyd. Marshawn Lloyd had monster catches that went for 40 yards, just like Swift. So that's why Marshawn Lloyd was, like same archetype as Swift. So that's very similar. And I just don't know if I'm going to be getting the touchdown equity. People don't realize, but Caleb Williams rushed it for over 10 touchdowns a year, every year. Yeah. Like this guy is a vulture around the end zone and is sneaky athletic. I think he's going to be better than I think given credit right now, as of right now.
All right, we got our boy Kevin Bachlich checking in. What's up, Kevin? Guys, Christian Watson goes one pick ahead of Jaden Reed still, but that's unusual in these drafts.
I'm a Watson guy, so you know that you're talking to the right guy on that one. To me, he has more upside than Jaden Reed. I like Watson there.
Brandon, I mean, you acknowledge that it's at least unusual.
It's unusual. It's definitely unusual, but I have an unusual build too. So
yeah. So you and Stopa, who have always disagreed on a lot of these guys, you guys are in sync here. We found common ground.
Dalton just got his quarterback, Kyler Murray. That's a nice Cardinal stack. He's got a good looking team.
That's sweet.
Yeah, so McBride, a couple guys over at RotoWire are down on McBride. I don't even understand why. Brandon, is there even a downside case here for McBride?
I don't think so. I mean, I think everything that we saw. I mean, it was pretty obvious that some of his volume came from injuries from last year. The Cardinals had nobody coming down the stretch, so McBride was blanketed with targets. So I just feel, but he is a extremely good talent and set up with a top quarterback. I think he fits right in with Marvin Harrison Jr. I don't think they complicate each other at all. Trey McBride is one of my favorite picks for tight end, unless I'm fading.
I'm big on Trey McBride too. I thought he was a good pick. He followed like the typical tight end route where he took like a year to like get up to speed, and then he just blew the doors open. David Montgomery goes in round 7. That's a little boost to his ADP. I get it. I mean, if he was going in round 8 or the 8-9 turn, that was always a little late. Bill's up here. Bill Wazowski. He took Godwin. He got hurt, man. The QBs went late here.
I really wanted David Montgomery this round. The Lions might have the best offensive line in the league, and Gibbs has injury issues. So I think that one made a lot of sense.
Javante goes to Nikki. Oh, so you took Rome here, huh?
Yes, I like his upside. I think. Are
you watching Hard Knocks? Is that what's going on?
I'm watching a little bit of Hard Knocks, but I'm a big believer in Rome. I've been a big. I think he's the second best wide receiver on that team. I don't think Keenan Allen is going to be able to win down the field like he used to, and that's going to allow Rome to jump into 2 wide receiver sets towards the midseason, if not earlier. I think it's going to be earlier than that because they're already seeing him not separate in routine. Consistently not separating down the field in camp. So I think Rome is set up to be a very big weapon for the Bears.
All right, guys, I'm OTC right now. I am deciding between 2 players, and I am going to go Jackson Smith in Jigba. I have not drafted him anywhere. I was thinking about him and another player. I'll wait till after Stopa picks. You know what? Actually, it doesn't matter. I was just deciding between him and X-Worthy, Brandon.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Who would you have gone there? Kind of the same player, right?
Kind of the same. I probably Worthy right now, just because of the fact that
the Hollywood injury.
Yeah, like that's the only thing.
Get it.
Before the Hollywood injury, I was full fading Worthy pretty much. I like Rashee Rice in that offense more than anybody. I'm a big Rashee guy.
That's why I went JSN, because like who has the chance to emerge as like past the next guy, right? Like I think JSN could pass DK. Like we're assuming DK is the guy. Why can't JSN be the guy? I mean, Lockett's always going to be the number 2. To me, it's like DK will be the number 1 or the number 3.
It's going to be interesting. I'm curious to see what's going to happen. With Grubb, the wide receiver that fits the Rome Odunze role best in Seattle is
real quick. By the way, this is Stopa. This is his team. This is
my team.
Seattle is Brandon's team. That's why, you know.
Yeah. So Grubb, I think DK is set to have a huge year. I do think JSN is going to be a quality value. I think Lockett's going to relinquish some of those targets that he's been getting in the past. I think they want to get younger, faster, quicker. If you look at everything from the defensive side onto the offensive side, it's about speed and being able to use the bunch set, especially on offense. DK fits Rome Odunze role. That's what we are. That's what I'm thinking. What's going to be happening?
Stopa, you took Pollard over Spears. What's the dichotomy there?
Everybody think about where Pollard was drafted last year, a second round pick, and he fell flat because he hadn't recovered from that serious injury from the prior year. But this year, he's had a fully healthy off season, so I see no reason why he can't have a big rebound. I think his explosiveness came back in the latter part of last year, and hopefully it'll be back again this year.
Well, you're up. So who are you going to take here in the 8th round?
I'm going to pair up my Chiefs receivers.
Okay, Hollywood shoulder. Did you guys hear about that injury? Was insane.
It seems he'll probably be out 1 week and then be all right. That's what I was reading on the tea leaves. So
right.
I just know that this guy he's small, man, and if your rib is just healed up and you got DBs and safeties smashing you and landing on you, I don't know.
I mean, the guy was going in the 5th round. You're getting a 3-round discount on a Stopa. I'm going to call it a 2 or 3. I'm going to call it a 3-week absence.
I read that there is extremely little risk of re-injury after this.
Right, but it's not the re-injury. It's like it just feels like let's say they put him on IR, right? It's a 4-week IR. Then you could say, oh, he's eligible to come back in week 5, but they have a bye in week 6, the Chiefs, right? So it's like you could just see and by the way, in a league like this where you have 10 teams on 10 bench spots, no problem. But you could easily see a situation where Hollywood, the first time we see him is week 7.
If that's so, then that was an atrocious pick. So we'll see how it goes.
Eckler, I'm kind of warming up to Eckler a little bit. I like that he took there. Jalen Warren goes to so right. I took Najee, you took Jalen. I just again, it's you. So you like Jalen over Najee?
No, I just like the role he's going to get, and I don't think Ayuk is going to go there. So I think they're going to be running the ball a lot, and I think Jalen is extremely efficient. I think that continues. I think, I just think there's enough work to go around, and Jalen's a quality flex play at any week, and I have him all over the place, and I have no problem starting him.
Hey, by the way, if you're watching this on YouTube, and there's a healthy amount of people doing that, do me a favor, just hit that like button. It helps. I'm not even gonna lie, it helps our egos. So if you're watching on Twitter, go over to YouTube and service our egos a little bit, right? We like to see likes that go up. Is that fair to say, Brandon?
Fair. I think that's fair. If you're gonna hang out for more than 10 minutes,
Ah,
hit it up. Come on, man. Yeah, we're just trying to have fun and bring a nice live stream with a high stakes draft to the people.
Yep.
That's what it's all about.
Stopa, Jamison Williams goes off the board, then Raheem Mostert. I mean, you couldn't ask for two. Hopkins right there. All right, I want you to talk JMO. Are you a JMO guy or are you not a JMO guy?
I have not been a JMO guy, but I've started to open my eyes to potential role change and some good things I've been hearing. I mean, let's see if he can earn targets. He hasn't been able to really do so far.
But doesn't he strike you as a guy that doesn't need targets? Isn't he like Will Fuller, Brandon? Like, can he do it on 4 targets?
No, I'm no.
Let me think about that for a second. No.
I think Will Fuller was a freak show. It's unfortunate he couldn't stay healthy.
There we go. So we got some table talk right here. Brian Thomas is a must draft. There you go. Some other cockamamie business. It's Adonai Mitchell and Xavier Legette. Come on, this is crazy.
Right now,
Ted, get in here and throw down your 350. I want to play in here we go. Brooks, what do you think about Brooks right here? So Stopa, Brooks goes at the 8-11. Is that the right spot?
I think that's probably about right. I didn't have him in my queue, but there's upside there. So I guess you want to play for upside in a format like this, right?
No way. There's no chance I would. I mean, there's so many. Listen, I in Dynasty, yes, it's the cheapest advice. I'd draft, but come on. Brooks, he's going to go on.
When is he coming back?
Week 5. Then you need like a show me week. I don't know. I know we're playing for week 17, right? But you got to get there. You got to win. You got to be a top 2 team to get there.
Mm-hmm.
I like the Chase Brown pick. Jordan Love's an interesting play right there. I was on like a podcast not too long ago, and someone asked me about the Chase Brown, Zach Moss thing. Do you guys? We'll start with Brandon. Do you got a take on that?
Yeah, I'm drafting Chase Brown over Mostert with
not Mostert on Zach Moss.
Or Zach Moss. Sorry, Zach Moss with confidence.
See, I'm not. I'm not. Yeah, I'll let Brandon do his explanation. But Stopa, Zach Moss or Chase Brown?
I'm going Chase Brown there. Yeah. I saw Zach Moss every snap of him in Buffalo for years. He was a plotter, 3 yards in a cloud of dust. I just don't think he's very good. So give me the upside of Chase Brown there. And you passed over Jordan Love a little bit. I thought that was a really good pick. I think he fell far, and the guy picking 12th paired him with Jaden Reed. I like what he did there.
Nice.
Go ahead, Brandon.
Yeah, I just think Chase Brown fits. He was a full-time back in Illinois. He was a 3-down back there. He's big enough to do it. He reminds me a lot of Austin Eckler. I think he can catch the football. He's explosive, one-cut guy that averages over 5 yards a carry. I think Zach Moss, they had a pretty decent line in front of him in Indy, and he wasn't very good in Buffalo. And I want guys that are going to get passing work as well. And it looked like to me, Chase Brown was in every single pass set to pick up blocks. So I think they have confidence with him doing third down work. So if that's the case, then I'm in.
That Chase Brown big run that he had at the end of last year, I think really set that off right there. And you know what? I get it, right? I could see it, but maybe at the end of the day, they're both the right answer, or neither of them is the right answer. So I just, Zach Moss really, I know what you're saying about his years in Buffalo, Stopa, but I mean, he really impressed me. His time in Indy, that run that he had. What do you guys think about Team 9 taking Isaiah Likely? There's been some good hype on him lately, Brandon. But in the 9th round, man, that's
chance. That's wild. Yeah, that's wild to me. I don't know. I mean, I can't defend that, and I'm all about taking big swings. So,
I have Lamar. I was hoping to get Likely 4 or 5 rounds from now. So
right,
that one talked to me.
Right. Is that you that took? Okay, so Brandon, you took Brian Thomas. I love that pick. That's a good one in round 9. He could easily outproduce like even Marvin Harrison and Roma Dunze and it's like, what if he's that guy, right?
Yeah, for sure.
All right, guys. There's a quarter. Okay, good. I'm taking a QB here. I'm going to take Dak Prescott, finished as QB2 after the bye last year. I mean, this is why you wait on quarterback, right, Stopa?
Yeah. The guys who waited on quarterbacks really did well. So I think for not getting Lamar like you wanted, you did pretty well there.
Right. I mean, Dak still, even though he's a quote pocket passer now, I mean, there's no way that he doesn't have 620 pass attempts, Brandon, right? I mean, I'm shocked the guy who had CeeDee Lamb, my boy Joe, didn't take, he has Josh Allen. That's why. So he couldn't do it.
Couldn't do it.
That's why he took Keon Coleman.
Dak has fallen in every single draft I've seen.
Yeah.
That's been going on the last week for me. He's becoming a real bargain for sure. If you want to wait.
The 3 Buffalo receivers went this round.
Yeah, I was just going to ask you about that. Shakir goes first, Coleman goes second, Curtis Samuel goes third. I would have them in the reverse order, Stopa.
Yeah, I've been saying all offseason that's often the order that they go, and I like the reverse order too. To me, Curtis Samuel, the Bills paid him a lot of money on a multi-year deal. Keon Coleman is too raw and too much of a rookie. I like Samuel as the first receiver there. Because Shakir, I like him too. It's not that I don't. They are close, but give me the versatility of Samuel. I think he's going to get a lot of targets. They're going to use him out of the backfield some too. So I definitely like Coleman third out of those 3. But give me Samuel over Shakir in a close call.
Brandon, what order do you like these guys?
I'm a big Shakir fan. He was top 3 last year in Yak yards after catch. So he's right there with he's very similar to a Rashee Rice. If he gets good volume, he can be a really good player in that offense. So I'm a big Shakir guy. Keon a few years ago, before I kind of changed my methods with how I look at rookie wide receivers, I would have loved to draft Keon Coleman back in the day. But what scared me was the separation concerns, and the separation numbers weren't good at all. And that was a big issue to me. And it's actually panning out that way a little bit in camp. It seems that way that's happening. It's either a touchdown or he's getting plastered. So I don't know what to believe yet, but I like Shakir because I've seen it, and he is a yak monster.
All right, guys. Jerome Ford goes to Stopa. I love that pick. Obviously, it's like a great first half of the season plus pick. I take Jordan Addison round 10. Come on. I know he got banged up today, but he's fine. I mean, Jordan Addison was going in round 5 when things were good. I mean, Sam Darnold isn't that bad. And then Zach Moss goes off the board. Stopa, I get why you took Jerome Ford, but Jordan Addison, the next pick, come on. Give me some love.
I was debating those too. You did well on that one. If I didn't take Ford, I would have taken Addison. I'm not an Addison guy, but I feel like his ADP is probably suppressed based on suspension concerns that aren't going to happen. Right. So that I'll give you some love on that one.
All right, Brandon. Romeo Doubs was the guy I was checking out there too. Again, I feel like he could have gone around later, but what the hell? At this point, once you get to the double-digit rounds, there is no ADP, right?
Yeah, I'm not interested in Brock, Tua, Jared, Caleb anymore.
Wait,
I have
Brock, Tua.
Brock, Tua.
That sounds a lot like you know what.
Hawk Tua.
Yeah.
No, I feel like everybody has their takes on this whole thing in Green Bay. And it seems to me if you talk to the guy actually throwing the ball, he actually really likes Romeo Doubs. And it seems like he might be pretty cemented in there Wicks is super good. So it's interesting, but right now it's Doubs. I want some points right now. So I'm picking Doubs.
Yeah. Doubs is always he's like the future Tyler Lockett, the future boring guy that just always scores points. That's a good one right there.
Love seems to really like Doubs. Yeah. So yeah, that he talks about him very positively.
Yeah,
he does.
Zach Moss goes in round 10 as well. Blake Corum, that's either going to be Nikki's first drop or it's going to be like a genius pick, right? Like you could, if Blake Corum gets a clarified start in that Sean McVay offense, Stopa, he's a top like 11 back, right? Like he's well inside the top 12.
Yeah, and Kyron, doesn't strike us as the most durable guy. So maybe you get 2 or 3 starts out of Blake Corum where he's clearly going to get, 20 carries in a week. So yeah, I can see it.
Brandon, Trey Benson, I liked him, but man, I mean,
Mm.
we all like James Conner, man. Trey Benson just has no shot unless there's an injury, right?
Yeah, I think if you looked at the preseason game, the problem with Trey Benson is that if he doesn't have a line, he's in trouble. He needs a little bit of an alley and a seam to get up to speed. He doesn't have too good of side-to-side movement. He's a little bit stiff in that way, but he's a great athlete once he gets out and going. But James Conner is going to be the guy until he gets injured. But Trey Benson is a very good athlete. So I like him only if Conner gets hurt. But
look at this, guys. Chuba Hubbard goes to round 10. That's as early as I've seen him go. I mean, Mr.
Holy moly, for real?
Yeah. DK took him in round 10, but Mr. September's they're valuable, right? Like, I mean, if Jonathan Brooks comes back in, early October and starts a split, I mean, Chuba at least is, for weeks 1, 2, and 3 is going to be good.
Well, you hated where Brooks went, so one of the others got to be right.
Right. I hated where Brooks went because I don't feel like he's going to be. I think he'll be involved. That's a great point, by the way. He'll be involved enough to ding Hubbard, but like, listen, I'm just used to a cheaper Chuba Hubbard. I'm used to like round 14 Chuba Hubbard. It's just weird to see him go around 10, even though that's what his value is, right?
Yeah.
I think if you ignored where he's gone to this point, that's not a bad deal. Like one of those guys is going to be the starter for a good portion of the year. One of the 2 picks has to be right at their ADP, in my view.
By the way, guys, we got 1,000 people in here right now. 998 people. Yeah, watching. I mean, listen, they're not here for us. They're here to watch a draft. I mean,
Don took Wicks, and I dislike him even more than I did before this started.
Stopa, we were here talking about the number of viewers, like our vanity metrics, and you're talking about Dontavian Wicks. Like,
see, I'm trying to actually attract viewers by talking about what we're doing, not just feeding each other's egos. Wicks is the perfect guy for this format because he's an upside guy. If he gets into a starting role, how much I love Alan Seslowsky and that Packers offense. I mean, I'm irritated that we let Dalton Del Don into this show so that he took Wicks on me.
I know. Well, Dalton was smart. Dalton was smart in a sense where he didn't want to draft with us because he wants to focus on the draft. Kendrick, that's a bad pick. I'm sorry, Staley. That's my Staley takes Kendra Miller. I mean, there's been nothing but bad vibes, but that's been said before. And then like Kendra he could be motivational, right?
What's the injury update on him? I haven't heard one in some time.
That's bad. But hold on, I just want to go back to Wicks for a second here. What do you think the upside? Like, what's a player comp for Wicks, Brandon?
I mean, it's obvious that he has the same size and measurables of the way he runs routes as Devontae Adams, right?
Oh, like, I was going to say AJ Green.
Said that.
Like
AJ Green,
skinny.
No, but if you talk to his coaches, they think him. So like, I don't have a comp for him. I just think he's a sick route runner. I just think it's going to be hard to break into 2-pass sets on that team, and it's going to be interesting to see how it all shakes out. But with Lloyd having injury risk, with Dylan's being terrible, they should take it easy on Josh Jacobs because that dude didn't finish the year last year either. So I think they have a lot of passing volume this year.
How does a comp of I guess you're right. He's 6'2", 215. Yeah. No, it's a tough one. You're right. He was taken around 5. He was He was like one of the last picks around 5. All right. Mike Williams goes off the board. I like Mike Williams too, but one of my colleagues told me that he hates Mike Williams. Even I don't know, round 11, round 12. That seems like a good pick to me.
Yeah, I mean, look who's next to him. I mean, it's either Tyler Lockett, which I just said is going to have less volume this year. There's really nobody else around there, and
okay, Rashid Shaheed went off the right, exactly. He went off the board. All right, so
long time ago.
Guys, any no, you Stopa, you'd said Dalton's build, you liked his. Anyone else right now?
Let me see here. Who else has, I like the stacks. I think in a format like this, you want to be able to have stacks or mini stacks like the Stroud and Nico Collins, because you want that maximizes your upside, right? It creates more that can go wrong if the stack, falls on its face, but it creates more that can go right. And so, if you can stack, especially passing options on the same offense, that's what you want to be able to do. So that's what I'm looking at in order to answer that question. Anybody who can have the QB and wide receiver 1, ideally 3 in a stack would be great. But that's the answer to that.
All right, guys. I just took best player on the board. I took Brock Purdy. It's not like a player. I have 2 quarterbacks now. I'm going to constantly be playing the guessing game. Who's got the better matchup? But
that was the right pick. Purdy was in my queue too.
Yeah,
I'm going to give myself a little bit of a weak stack here, Purdy. It was the time for a second quarterback. I was looking at it too.
Yeah, I don't usually like to take 2 quarterbacks, but I guess in a 10 bench league, you don't want to suffer an injury and start like, Jake Browning. Although that was actually Jake Browning was a good pick last year.
Jake Browning was a great replacement. Yeah, he did his job. He did his job last year. I get what you're saying.
With 10 bench spots, the good thing about a second quarterback is you'll never have to worry about getting a quarterback from waivers, and you won't have to spend any capital, any waiver capital, any time. You don't have to worry about it. So I like it from that perspective too.
All right, guys. So you take the team 1 took Dallas Goedert. That was the other guy I was going to take. Why isn't Goddard ever? Is this the year he fires a little bit? He has not fired at all.
Nope, this will not be that year. So
that guy sucks, right?
No, he's an efficient guy. It's a crowded freaking offense, man. He's got when you play within a talented offense, unless you're a pillar offensive player, like he's a kind of an afterthought. He'll have some explosive games, but good luck trying to tell me when it's going to happen. I can't tell you, so I don't know. Goddard, I have him on some dynasty rosters, and I'm frustrated by him, so that might be jading me a little bit. But yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, no, this is it. Start. Someone just timed out. Someone timed out. Team 1 timed out.
Are you kidding?
Love that. I mean, he took 2 of those. That's
that's not good. He timed out and then he took my guy.
You were looking for killer right there.
He was coming to me. God dang it.
Well, you were looking for a little stability under Richardson, I'm sure, right?
Yeah, I was. And I wanted the stack, and it was available, so why not? But that's fine. I can't have nice things.
I am on the clock here, guys. This is a tough pick. All right, I am going to take. I want a running back, but I'm not going to do it. I'm reaching here, guys. I'm going Michael Wilson in round 12.
Are we allowed to boo? Can we boo? I want to boo.
18 fantasy points the last 2 weeks with Kyler Murray. Already anointed the number 2. You're not into it. All right. We're
at the stage of the draft where you can tell yourself a story about just about anybody, and it's just a matter of picking the upside guys that you like.
Yeah, I mean, Brandon, why are you not into Michael Wilson?
I am into Michael Wilson.
Oh, okay. So
I like Michael Wilson.
Why are you joining the Stopa's boo?
I didn't really. I mean, I just thought it was a little high for him, but
Right,
that's fine.
I was worried if he would come back. I mean, I was thinking about. I'll
But
admit,
this has been a weird draft. I think this has been a weird
weird.
draft. Yeah, this has been a fun one because like I've been in some stale drafting trends a couple weeks ago, and things are starting to change, and it's actually really fun. And I think I think I
was thinking
running back
about
was
Jerry
going
Jeudy
quick.
there. It was Jerry
Yeah.
Jeudy or Michael Wilson. One guy is like hanging on with his fingernails to a cliff. The other guy is like on the ascent.
Mm-hmm.
What do you guys think about Jahan Dotson this year? I just saw he went to you. Well, obviously you took him.
Yeah.
He was the holder for kicks. I mean, they're trying to find a role for him, Brandon.
Yeah, I think that's a bunch of hooty.
That's
I think
bullshit.
he'll end up being. I think the wide receiver 2 job will be his. De'Ami Brown will be more instituted a little bit on deeper routes, but I think Jahan Dotson will have a role within the offense. He's a first round wide receiver. First year had tons of touchdowns. Had a regression year last year, and I just think the quarterback play is going to be a lot better, and they're going to give a first rounder another chance and let's see if he seizes it. Everything up till like this week has been positive with Dotson.
Did you guys see the tweet that in the last couple days, we all follow the same accounts on Twitter, I'm sure, that listed out like 10 first round receivers over the course of the history of the NFL who had earned less than 18% target share or something like that. And they were all busts. Quentin Johnston was on the list, Nelson Aguilar, and Dotson's been on that list now twice. So that really jumped out at me to me is like, whoa, that's not good. If you're not earning target share as a first round pick, that's scary. But I guess that's why he's going so low.
Right. I mean, the price.
I mean, he's my wide receiver.
In the 12th round, it doesn't matter. Like that's like, sometimes people take like when there's like you could drop him week 1 and be fine, but I was taking him in round 8 when draft season started, round 7. So
I've got some old. I have some
losses
on some dynasty teams with him. Yeah, I think everybody who has him in dynasty is losing.
Yeah.
Yep, I'm one of those guys. So
Yep. But I mean, for a depth play here and there, I really do think he ends up getting another roll at it. Washington seems to not be a very healthy team throughout the years, so let's see if he gets to play a little bit.
Let's see. I just got a text from my my buddy Joe Bartle. He said the 250K winner is definitely someone from this league. Oh, meaning that it's a soft draft. I think that's a dig at us.
We can take the shots. Bring it on, fellas.
Yeah. All right.
Bring it on.
Let's see. I got from another one.
They should feel free to say who they think is bad and why. If you think we've made mistakes,
yeah, go for it, man. I care less.
That's what it's for. It's an interactive dialogue. Tell us what you think's going on. That's the point of the podcast. We're not on here. We're not gods. We're not deities.
Wait. Speak for yourself. Speak for yourself. Speak for yourself. Funny. Someone. Our guy Ted Bell said that Benson is his guy. He's pissed off that I was shitting on Benson a little bit.
He just needs to fucking run like he is aggressive. He looks very tentative in the Cards game. He just needs to run hard.
Couple more pieces of news. John Ross is being evaluated for a concussion. Who the hell knew John Ross was in the league anymore? I
didn't know that. That's wild.
Chris, who was in my queue, guys? Come on, you're telling my opponents.
Right away, hold on. Another big piece of breaking news. Chris Evans suffered a torn patella tendon. Okay. Let's see what else we got here. Nope, all bit. Let's see. Wait, we got someone else. Cole Kmet. Oh, wait. Oh, this is a different league. All right, never mind. All right, guys. Here we go. I'm back in it. I was Zeke Elliott in the 13th. I took him in like the 9th in a couple leagues. All right, Dallas backfield, Stopa.
Well, I think it's possible that the guy who leads them in yards is not currently on the team.
Dalvin Cook.
No. Somebody, there's some sort of cut or trade, on roster cut down day or something. I mean, Zeke is washed. I'm not a Zeke guy. If Rico Dowdle was really the guy, wouldn't that be more obvious? I actually have a whole ton of Malik Davis shares in those deep dynasty leagues that we do simply because of the uncertainty, and he's been totally free. There's just so much uncertainty there. Let's just stay vigilant and see how it unfolds, I guess.
So our boy Kevin Bachledge we did a trade, Olave for Nico Collins in our dynasty league. Start you, Brandon. Who do you want there?
What was the trade? I'm picking. Sorry.
Oh yeah. Okay. So we'll wait for you.
I'll say Nico Collins because
you're hurting me.
It ties me to the better quarterback. And that just creates a better floor. And I get the argument for Olave. He's arguably more talented, but with the quarterback uncertainty, when is that going to fix?
Did you guys hear the rumor today that Minnesota wanted to trade for Derek Carr?
Yeah, I did see that. I think that makes a ton of sense.
All right. So Nikki sniped me here. He took Braylon Allen. I was going to take him.
That's who I wanted. I'm going
to take Bucky Irving. I like Bucky. Oh, you took Leggett. That's no, you took McLaughlin. I like that.
Yes.
Mason makes sense here for Stopa. He would have gone. So that's a good pick. He is obviously the RB2 in San Francisco. So if you're drafting McCaffrey, it seems like you got to take Mason around 11 or 12 at this point. If you really want to get him. Yeah. I was thinking about
I don't like handcuffing in high upside formats like this. You want to draft other guys' handcuffs to maximize your upside.
Yeah, no, totally agree with that.
I think that's pretty smart. Yeah.
Right, but McCaffrey with as our former colleague Chris Liss calls him Christian McCaffrey. You didn't get that one? McCaffrey?
Calf injury. Yeah. Now I get it.
All right.
If I argued the CMC Cliff before, so taking Mason just made sense for me there.
Come on, McCaffrey. I think that's a brilliant pun right there.
This is not nearly as funny as he thinks he is. So let's
that particular one I thought was pretty good. Just so you know, Christian McCaffrey. Brandon, I think you're frozen, bro.
I am frozen. I'm trying to log in on my phone for the draft.
Yeah, but you look better like this. I'm telling you. All right. So Stopa, you're next. Let me see. All right, just let us know. OnlyFans draft is all handcuffs. All right. I don't know what that means, but I'm putting that in there. I think that's a good comment. Over under Allen whiskey drinks. Okay, so someone can tell I'm drunk already. All right. It's not whiskey drinks, it's vodka tonight.
Well, could they tell? I'd like some feedback from the viewers. Could they tell based on how you're appearing on the video or from the quality of your picks?
The quality of my picks and the video. Well, it's my slur. But listen, I draft better when I've won money in this league when I'm. Oh, look at this. Here we go. Stopa taking. All right. Let me think about this for a second here.
It was time. All these players who are getting taken now are cut candidates, so might as well get the best defense.
Boy. This is all right. I'm gonna take Ravens kicker Justin Tucker. Justin Tucker.
You are on deck.
There you go.
So I goaded you into taking a kicker, is what you're saying there.
Yeah, week 14, I don't have to deal with like ad drops. He's fine.
Yeah, I think it was definitely time to. Yeah, now we see a run on the.
Yeah, well, so Brandon took Frozen. Brandon took the Jets. The only reason I don't like them, they have a tough week 1 matchup. What do they play in week 1, Stopa?
I don't remember, but they're so good. I don't think it matters. They have such great talent at all three levels. If I was close to taking the Jets, even over the Ravens,
Hold on.
especially
Here we go. I'm
if
going to
they
look it up right now. Who did the
especially if
Jets
they can figure
play
it out
in
with
week
Russell
1?
and Reddick.
I'm looking
They
it
need
up.
to figure it out with Reddick,
Oh.
and then
On September 9th at 8:15 p.m. in Santa Clara.
You hear that?
well, the benches are so deep, right? This isn't like those Yahoo leagues that we do where there's 4 or 5 bench spots and you can't
Right.
hold an extra defense. These benches are so deep, you can just draft 2 defenses or just you only need to hold the second defense through week 1. Then you can just play the Jets through most of the rest of the year.
I was gonna say it's his real. I know his name is Robert Goldman. I'm putting him up. I was gonna say Ronald Goldman. You know who Ronald Goldman is, right, Stova?
Ronald Goldman. That's
Well,
the victim of OJ.
OJ murdered him. So, but this is Robert Goldman. He said San Fran plays the Jets Monday night. That's a bad matchup.
He should have been on the pod here with us. So thank you for that info there.
He said, look, he wrote Ronald Goldman ain't making no posts. He's not doing much. I feel bad for Ronald Goldman. He was just like chasing tail, and he ended up, taking a knife. That's terrible.
I feel bad for his family too. They had that $20 million judgment and never collected anything out of it.
Yeah, still come on. It's like,
and here I am sitting I am sitting in a media room with an OJ Simpson jersey hanging here. So I'm probably the wrong person to be talking about some of that, but so it goes.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, look, this conversation has devolved into Ronald Goldman victim sympathy.
Demarcus Robinson, I like that pick here at this time. If you look at his game logs, folks, from the last back half of the year, he was definitely a startable guy. The Rams lead the league, or are certainly going to be in the top few in 3 wide receiver sets. So, I like that one.
Welcome back, Brandon Adam. You're on the stream again.
I don't know if you can hear me, but
yeah, we can. Yes.
Well, it's thinking, but
no, we can hear you.
Okay.
Here, if you can't hear me, I'm gonna mute you.
Yeah.
All right. So we're starting to see some defenses go off the board. It's Cleveland Browns, Justice Hill, Adonai Mitchell. You like the Demarcus Robinson pick, Kirk Cousins. Very interesting to see, Stopa, what will happen with the Cousins and Penix this year, right?
Yeah, is there any scenario where a healthy Kirk Cousins doesn't start the entire year? Is there any scenario?
Well, that's the key, right? Like, if the Falcons go 2-4, if Cousins has the 3 interception game, and by the way, great pick for my boy DK, who took Jaden Daniels. You got the stability quarterback. Team 12 going back-to-back tight ends. Musgrave and Freiermuth. Good luck picking which guy to start, right?
That's I'm not going to criticize any Packers pick though in that offense. I think that offense just has the potential to be so good.
Let's see this comment right here. Okay, so Brandon has
Brandon
a real. Yeah, Brandon's been gone for a while. Let's see. I think he's texting me right now. This is why I'm going to tell Brandon. This is why I'm never having you on the podcast. Like, you're not reliable to stay on the stream. If you don't have good tech and good audio, you cannot be on a podcast. I'm sorry. You just no. You're a no.
The $1,000 that you were going to pay him for appearing, you can give it to me instead.
No, but Brandon Adam, I'm telling you, and he's excellent. He's a really good podcaster. I've heard him, but get your tech in place here.
I hope that we're keeping this going for our viewers and that they're getting something out of this. I think there's always something to be gleaned from every draft. And damn it, Dalton again took who was in the top of my queue. The homer took the Niners defense.
What do you think about the Kamani Vidal pick in round 15?
I think that's just fine.
They're saying he could get cut now.
I mean, are there scenarios where where he can be a starter in this format. I mean, you're talking 10 bench spots, and half these guys are going to get cut at some point, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah. By the way, I am team 2. Oh, sorry, team 3. Stope is team 2. Our boy Brandon Adam, who's here, he's back now. He's team 5. Worst team. Brandon, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here now. Sorry, brothers.
Yeah, people were missing you. So,
I know.
Our viewership went down tremendously without you. No matter how much Alan's ego, wants to think otherwise.
Hold on, wait. Hold on, Brandon. You've podcast. Do I have an ego when we podcast? Come on, I am all about my guest. I am all about the guest.
He is definitely not that guy.
I am not that guy. Honestly,
I'm just playing with you, Bill.
I know you are, but I don't care if anybody's listening. In fact, I'd prefer them not to be. But meanwhile, I'll give you a viewer count. 897 right now is the viewer count.
Nice.
It's a nice vanity metric. I do like vanity metrics. Let me see. I'll give you the exact breakdown. It's 775 on Twitter. Oh my God. Okay, so that's only about 35 on YouTube. Okay.
Dalton Schultz and Taysom Hill, 2 tight end picks in a row that I kind of like them both. That Schultz is in a really nice offense, and Hill seems to be getting really good usage. I had been off of Hill most of the offseason based on his injury, but the reports coming out of camp there, like he's playing with the starters. He's all over the field, even at his age.
I'm OTC right now. Give me a second, guys. Let me see.
So, I've been surprised at the Taysom Hill usage, and I've talked a lot about fading older guys, but in leagues where he's tight end eligible, obviously that's the key. He's got to be tight end eligible. That's there's potential upside there.
Oh yes. Yeah. All right. Keep going.
Yeah, for sure. I'd rather have Cole Kmet. He has a full-time job and is linked to Caleb Williams, and Caleb Williams is going to be using his tight end quite a bit as a rookie. I think Cole Kmet is going to be a big-time figure in that offense, especially off play action.
Hey, guys, a lot of talk about Tyler Conklin. I took him there. Stopa takes Elijah Mitchell. Rodgers never big with the tight end, but, I mean, maybe because his tight ends have never been reliable. Is Conklin have a chance to be that guy that we take in round 15 plus that ends up with like the 9 touchdowns this year, Stopa?
Yeah, I mean, if Rodgers plays out the year as you as a Jets fan hope that he does, then why can't Conklin finish around, tight end 12 or something like that? I mean, I think that's feasible as long as he can hold off the others. They have that the name's escaping me, the second or third year Ohio State guy who's behind.
You're talking about Jeremy Ruckert.
Yes, Jeremy Ruckert. Yeah, I have a bunch of Ruckert in Dynasty, so I should have remembered his name. Yeah, I haven't been able to get clarity on whether Ruckert is eating into Conklin's starting snaps at all or not, but if Conklin plays full time, he could sneak into a tight end 1 by the end of the year.
Yeah, there's another tight end I'm looking at right now too. But also I need some running backs, guys. So yeah.
I just went back to back on backup running backs in good offenses. Elijah Mitchell double dip on that Niners backup backfield. So,
sure.
I'm gonna have whoever's there if CMC gets hurt. And then I've always been a Clyde Edwards-Helaire guy. If you look at the Chiefs backup running backs over the last 3 or 4 years, that has almost always been massively plus EV. So give me some of that here as well.
Hey, guys, I'm about to take Eric Gray here. He looked good in the preseason. Why is he falling this late?
Because of Tyrone Tracy. That's why. I mean, right. Tyrone Tracy's still their RB2. No matter what, with this injury, with this ankle, he might start off a little slow, but this guy is going to have a role. They seem really excited about him. So,
all right. But Eric Gray, can he be this year's Kyron Williams in a sense where 5th round pick? Everyone loved Cam Akers, and that's like, that's like Devin Singletary, and then ends up being Eric Gray.
You can tell yourself a story about any of these guys.
Right.
Well, Eric, Eric, they might ride the hot hand. You never know. So it's just what it is.
Right.
Round 6. Brandon said about the Giants backfield pecking order.
So you think Gray is like game day inactive type of stuff, or
He's the
No,
RB3.
he'll be active.
Right?
He'll be active. Yeah, he's going to be
he's
active.
all right? I'm gonna take that'll be my first drop then. Jalen McMillan, I like that pick from my boy Nicky. You took Marshawn Lloyd. The injury scared me off him. Aaron Rodgers goes off the board, and Bill, our boy Bill Blazowski, takes Jalen Polk. Matt Stafford, man, this is the reason you wait on quarterback, right? Like Matt Stafford could end up being your starter in round 16. Dalton's up on the clock right here. He takes Justin Fields. Yeah, that's a smart pick, man. Because let me ask you this, Brandon. If Justin Fields is named the week 1 starter, he is QB what in consensus rankings?
8.
Yeah. Sopa?
Yeah, I'd say lower. I've never been a Fields guy,
But
because I
for
don't think he's
fantasy,
really-
for fantasy.
No, I hear
This
you.
is fantasy,
They
man.
are
Yeah.
they are interrelated. Okay, he takes so many sacks that's
does.
that's
He
why to me he's just not good.
Right, but-
on any game where he plays the full game, he is a fantasy QB1 because he runs so much. My view is that's just not sustainable over a career, even over the course of a season, and that's why I don't think he's going to start for the entire year. But we'll see how that goes. I think each guy's going to start, 7 or 8 games. So.
Stopa, let me look. I asked Brandon a question. I said, he is QB what if he starts? He gave an answer. You went into this whole downside case. Stopa, Justin Fields is QB what if he starts week 1?
12.
And that's low.
I knew that was coming. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's low.
Yeah.
I am always lower than consensus, and that's fine. And I think that's because he's so bad with the sacks and just not a good player that he has a risk of an in-game benching or in-game injury when we're running more than other guys do. And I'm always fine to let other guys just take him. That's just kind of, we all have players like that, and he's one of those guys for me.
Got it.
A lot of love here for Dalton on Team 10. Look at this. They said that
Dalton's his team is ridiculous. He got the Cardinal stack. He got a couple. He had 2 or 3 guys at the top of my queue that I wanted. Niners defense, Wicks, Fields as a second quarterback. His team is ridiculous.
What do you think about the Josh Downs pick with the injury? He may not play for the first month of the season.
Yeah, I agree with what Brandon was saying about Richardson before. And if you like Richardson's upside, he's going to do it with somebody.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he's injured.
He's injured. But so what's going to happen is that before the ankle with Josh Downs, he was lighting up camp and seemed to have the best chemistry outside of Michael Pittman with A. Rich on a consistent basis. Twisting his ankle, he's going to be a slow start, and he's a smaller guy anyways, and he runs deeper to the section of the field. So I think A.D. Mitchell is going to end up getting some big slot time if he misses any kind of games. That's what ended up happening in practice right after the injury. A.D.'s been getting a bunch of the slot work, and then but A.D. is also going to be able to help him out with with field stretching ability too on the boundaries as well. So I think A.D. Mitchell's the number 2 there.
Yep, I agree with that. How about the tight ends, Brandon?
Tight ends, Jelani Woods, he's all right. Good athlete, touchdown upside guy, not a lot of volume. Because honestly, I think if it's going to be play action of any kind, it's just going to be naked boot, and A-Rich is just going to walk in.
Deshaun Watson, you steal him in round 17. Man, I still think Deshaun Watson, I mean, I would put him in there with Purdy and Tua, right, Stopa? I mean,
we have talked a lot about Watson, Alan and I, and I am in on Watson now. And, here's how I'd summarize it. Have we ever, at any point in our lives, been able to draft a quarterback who is still in his prime in terms of his age, and at one point in his career was routinely viewed as a top 5 NFL player? Ever in our life? I think the answer to that is no. This is the first time ever that a quarterback has fallen to, QB early 20s in fantasy drafts when he was a top 5 NFL player just a few years ago, and he's still in his 20s. That has never happened in fantasy in our lifetime.
You are making sense right here. I am going to take Deneric Prince. You said
There it is.
Yeah, you
Yep.
said CEH was the number 2. I'm
Yes.
thinking Prince might be
Deneric.
the number 2 there.
I have a lot of Prince in Dynasty, so I don't necessarily.
Either way.
But yeah, I mean it's the argument is the same as that there's upside there.
Right.
Oh,
But
yeah, there is
I
for
mean,
sure.
but what do you guys think the is it Prince or is it CEH is the 2?
You know, Prince got. I followed this closely. Prince started out at camp getting a lot of the number 2 touches, but recently he hasn't been getting as many, and they've been given them to Carson. I don't remember his name.
Whatever
He's
that dude is that's trending on Sleeper, right?
He's a fullback white guy. Yeah, I don't remember his name. He's a bigger guy. So that just kind of made me think. That
they handed off to the fullback white guy.
Fullback white guy takes it down the middle.
Forgive me, fellas.
To the 5. He falls down on the end zone.
Here, I'll find it here.
Here we go. Ronald Goldman said Steele running back candidate. So he copy and pasted that from the Sleeper app.
Yeah.
By the way, thank you,
so
Robert.
funny.
I appreciate it. I don't mean to goof on you.
That
I have
was
a
great.
very specific target for round 18, guys. I'm hoping Stopa doesn't. Actually, I know you're not going to snipe.
Dang it.
Oh, you wanted out Atlanta kicker?
I did. Yeah.
Is it still Wang Hei Koo?
Well,
Yeah.
I'm going to take this pick just to spite you, Alan, because you said I took the wrong guy for the Chiefs backfield. I think you took the wrong second receiver for Atlanta.
Oh, that's a good one.
Greg Dortch.
Oh, you mean for the Cardinals?
For Arizona, yeah. I believe he is the Cardinals' second receiver.
No, that's a
I
good
love
pick.
that pick, Stopa. That's a good pick because
I'm going to give you the props. Hey, guys, I like the matchup for Seattle in week 1 and week 2 on defense. I think they have like the Patriots and the Broncos.
Streaming against the Patriots is nice.
And the Broncos too, right?
Yeah, especially the Patriots. I mean, they probably have the worst offensive line in the league. You know, obviously their quarterback situation is unsettled. They have so little talent on offense. Streaming against them every week is going to be a good play, no matter what type of fantasy league you're in.
Guys, 928 people, and our boy Kevin Bachledge comes through with Carson Steele. That's the Chiefs white guy.
Thank you. I had his first name right. I was halfway there. Thank you for finishing that one out for us.
Yeah, you know Bachledge. He's the commissioner in a lot of our leagues.
Yes. Yeah, he's the best.
Best commissioner, by the way. Best. Yeah. So, Brent, you think? Do you think I'm a good commissioner, Brandon Adam? Is this thing on? I think he's silent. He doesn't hear.
I heard laughter and then it cut out. So
I'm sorry, I was picking. I think you are totalitarian that needs to be stopped, and your regime change needs to happen.
He thinks I'm Gaddafi. This guy.
I just think you like fantasy football with bumper lanes, like in bowling with 9-year-olds.
He wants to give me the Gaddafi, like the sodomization and end my regime.
Oh, dude.
You took Colt.
No, I love you to death. You're great.
Well, that I know, that I'm aware of, but I'm telling you, I think I run a fair ship. So when I go on the RotoWire's on the other fantasy football channel that we have is running a marathon of like fantasy analysts right now. When I go on, I'm going to talk about commissionering. I think like there's like some things you need to. What do you think, Stopa? What do you think makes a good fantasy football commissioner?
Communication.
I mean, dude, we're not dating. Give me a fucking break here.
Adapt. Well, I was thinking of conflicts when communicate about conflicts, about scheduling, not being rigid and putting things up for the league vote as opposed to trying to be a dictator. That's it.
Yep. Brandon Adam, all that stuff is great, but collecting the money up front is the number one thing, right?
That's the number one thing that you need to do. Be the collector. That's the only. My favorite commissioners are the ones that stay the hell out of the way after collecting money.
Yes.
Like
fine. I gave a bad answer. Okay.
I don't know. Like that's just me. I don't know. Like I think Alan likes likes that stuff, and
Oh,
we
no,
have
wait.
a trade. We have a trade match rule, so I want this trade match rule gone.
I like staying out of the way. The only reason I put the trade match rule in is for just the league folds often in a dynasty league when there's cockamamie trades. So this kind of keeps, at least nobody could ever say in our trade match rule, "Oh, I would have given you more." Do you agree with that?
I agree with that 100%. Or you had the opportunity. You know what I mean?
Right. We have a trade match rule in our dynasty league. If a trade goes up between me and Brandon, everybody has a chance to match or beat it.
Why would you guys do that?
For the exact reason, no one can say, "Oh, I can't believe that you gave away Pat Mahomes for Daniel Jones and Teddy
Just
Bridgewater."
Between the two of you, or for the whole league?
For the whole, no, it's a league rule. It's a league rule. It's a league.
Yeah,
rule.
Alan throwing some shade. People don't understand it. That's so funny.
That was very inside baseball. I know. No, I'm saying because what ruins dynasty leagues are bad trades.
Yeah.
Yeah, I ended attentive owners.
Well, yeah. Yep. Well, you can always replace owners, All right, guys, here we go. We're at last 2 rounds here. By the way, great draft, and you guys were awesome. I really do appreciate you coming on here tonight. Brandon, you always do a great job with your analysis. Good personality. I love you, man. You're one of my brothers in Stopa. You're a regular on these streams, man. People love you, or people hate you, and I love that they hate you. So that's like
everybody needs a contrarian angle.
Yes,
and so what not to do, a negative indicator. I'm happy to be the negative indicator on these podcasts for you.
The only thing I advise, Stopa, you need better audio. I mean, Brandon is fixed his audio. Yeah. Other than that, you're a home run. You're an A+, but I'm going to go A- for you because your audio is like subpar.
Yeah,
it's a fair.
I will get my interns on that.
Right.
Ooh.
All right, guys. RotoWire.com, free trial of all of our fantasy content. RotoWire.com/try gets you a free 2 days. Brandon, anything to promote?
Yeah, DFS Army Fantasy Football Show on during the season. It will be every Saturday morning. Right now, it's midweek in the evenings. Check us out on YouTube, on X. It's at the Flex Network 1. Check us out there. You're gonna see some good stuff. Also, we also have an Undroppables Uncovered Seattle Seahawks series as well that we are covering for the Undroppables. So, a couple pods going. Check us out. Subscribe. And hang out for a bit.
I like that you linked up with those guys. That was because of the league I put you in.
Yes, it was. That league ended up connecting Jax Falcone and I.
Yeah, no, that's good. Jax is awesome, man. That's a good connection. Yeah. You guys have a lot in common. Stope, anything to promote?
I'm happy to let you guys promote. I'm just a guy along for the ride. So happy to be here. It was fun. Be good to each other. Be nice people out there. Have fun on the streets. That's it.
Stopa, let's end with a soft note. Who are you voting for president?
Who
should be the president?
You really want me to start talking that, huh?
Yeah. Who should be president? Of the choices that are there, who should be president?
I'm voting for RFK because I believe that he's the one who addresses the issues that matter to the bottom 99% of the public. There you go. I said it.
All right.
Yeah,
that's fair.
I got you. Yep, that's fair. I'm staying out of that one.
Yeah, no, of course.
Yeah, staying out of that.
Last pick of the draft here. Let's see. I think I'm going upside with Isaac Garenda. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. Let me see. How about? I need a. I'm just gonna make noises.
Take Sam Darnold and be done with it.
Oh, is he available?
No, he can't be.
He is available.
He is available. That's
what? F you. I'm taking Sam Darnold.
In the Beat Alan Seslowsky League, I told him what pick to take in the last round.
Yep. That's good. Look, Darnold can end up being a top 14 quarterback, right?
Maybe I just wanted you to have 3 quarterbacks and look.
Yeah, I mean, he's my first drop. All right, guys. I'm signing off. Great. Thank you both for doing this.
It was fun. Thank you.
Look, hold on. A couple Butt Fumble 2.0, no politics. Great draft, fellas. Good luck this year. I mean,
Thank you.
All right, guy. What's it? Wait, hold on, one more comment here. Brandon gotta
Lose the awful
background. Yeah, it is terrible. Your background's terrible. I agree.
Yeah.
It glitches there. It's because you're doing the green screen shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, come on. You're a real podcaster now. Get rid of that.
Mm-hmm.
All right. that was a fuck you. I got you. All right. All right, boys. Good stuff. I'll see you soon. Goodbye.